FIFA 22 is over and FIFA 3 has just started, so to round up the year, I'm doing a club tour again, just like last year. But this year there's a little less emphasis on it because this year was not as good as 21. But I still want to have a little roundup so I can watch this video whenever I want to and see what FIFA 22 really was. So to start with, we're going to be looking back on the final team I used in Foot Champs, which this year was Ultimate Team of the Season, a lot earlier than September last year, which is when I stopped then, showing that this weekend league experience wasn't as good as last year's one. So let's just go through the team, see what we can say about it, because it's the final one we ever used in a Foot Champs. The bench is a bit different because I just added players to it, but overall, we've got Ginola here, who we got really early on, probably my most games played on him, unless Mendy has more, which he does, 523. He's definitely the most capped, which is quite shocking. We've got Timmy and Messi here, 543, which is that more than him? That's more than him, sorry. So we've got him there, who was amazing to pack. Let's add mid Butragueño, who was very outdated by the time I was using him in Foot Champs. Golden Mbappe, just because he's Golden Mbappe, wasn't very good. Paqueta, this card is one of my favourite cards this year, I'd like to say. And Go Gomez, obviously Liverpool. Alisson, Liverpool rewards as well. And we've got Kyle Walker here as well. And now we'll move on to the icon team that we got over the year. And let's see what that's saying. And now the icon team. As you can see, there's a lot of icons here. A full team. Bench, reserves, and some more in the club that they couldn't make the squad. Let's just go through their gems in here. R9 Ronaldo. 3 games, 3 goals. Of course he's R9. Ronaldinho. A lot more games because I wanted to use him. Never got a Ronaldinho before. Really want to use him. Steven Gerrard, of course, Liverpool legend. How can you not have him? The full Italian defence. It's just Italy, isn't it? That's just what they make. Got George Best, Henri, Cantona, Baggio. A very fun card to play with as well, can I add. Cafu, World Cup pictures, very nice. Dalglish, Liverpool. Puskas, just being Puskas. Carlos Alberto, Brazilian. And let's look into the club to see which ones weren't even good enough to make it. Not Brazilian, just icons. Let's see which ones couldn't even make the squad. We've got a Wayne Rooney, Fernando Torres, which at SBC actually did. Loud drop. I remember packing him and crying because he was terrible. Vidic played a lot of games, 200 during Team of the Year. Mid Buchez was in our squad. Rio, who played a lot with Vidic just to make that partnership again. And Base Hullet, who I kept the whole year because I wanted to see if the dupe theory was real, but seemingly it wasn't. And now we'll just round up by going through records and just giving overall thoughts about the year. So this year was a year I played quite a bit. I played on 2 accounts as well. So this I have over 1,100 games on here, about 1,110 exactly, and I've got a 194 there, as you can see. And we'll go and see how much is this club actually valued at. We'll see where club value ranks on here. We've got a 470 million club value, which is much higher than last year. I'm not sure how I've done that, but the 8510's definitely added to that. And we'll go to draft record to see how good we were in draft. I'd say that's very solid for me being, I'd say, an average player, getting a very good record there. And the draft there, not too bad either. And Foot Champs, you can't really see much there. Division Rivals stopped playing very early on in Division Rivals. Lost the desire to play in that. And just overall thoughts about the year. I'd say this year was not as good as 21. Still enjoyable, but I think 23 will be much better because this one was very stale. Hopefully the power curve will be a lot less, if that makes sense. So Team of the Year and Team of the Season really have an impact and are things that we want to play with instead of just using our old cards that we already got. So now we'll go through the club, just stopping to see any gems. Just go through and see what we can find. Virgil van Dijk we got, of course. Neymar, Chiellini, a lot of cards here. You got Sadio Mane, don't have any games on him though. Kyle Walker, packed him when he was around 2 million or 1.5 million. Loved packing him during Shapeshifters. We've got Karim Benzema, never played a game on him. Loved his other cards though. Muller, we've got a little Muller collection over here. Joe Gomez. Let's just go through these boring ones. We'll get to some more interesting cards that have a lot more meaning to them. Let's see who we've got. We've got Zlatan here, Mbappe, Diogo Jota red, Diogo Jota normal, Akinfenwa. A lot of Liverpool cards, as you can see, I kept collecting them. You got the more of the Muller collection. We'll show certain collections at the end. Trent, played a lot of games with him just because I really want to use Trent. Kanate. And Kunku, this one would have a lot of games, 100 games nearly. Divock Origi came off the bench. Zakaria, one of the very few objectives I completed this year. Showing like I didn't really love this game too much. Politano got in very early on, played a lot as well. We've got Klaus, legend as well. Kakare, a lot of games on him too. A lot of club legends this year. 400 games on Carrasco, 220 on Llorente. Let's see how many more legends we've got here. Muller collection carries on. AJ Morales, a lot of games on him. Got Pedro in the first year in review, very fun. Matip, of course, how can you not do his player of the month? Marwan Fellaini, another one of those few objectives I completed. Again, showing the very few that I did. Let's see if we can find any other. Antonio as well, very early in the year. Konate, just a nice card to own. Gareth Bale, red. And then we've got Koundé, card that we got at the start. Dembele, another card at the start. Valverde, another card at the start. Felix, used him a fair bit. Now getting through to like the Quadrado and Mendy, both very solid. Gelson Martins, another one. I have his 85 card as well. Played a lot of games off the bench. Very fun card to use, and I packed him during the promo he was out, which was very, very good. And here's the other Gelson Martins. 150 games, used him a lot. He was very much a fan favourite, and he just was a big part of this year. Jude Bellingham, got him out of my next gen pick. Very interesting thing. No one really used them. Even the Mbappe wasn't good, and the Foden was when everyone got. No one was really interested in them. Renato, the start of the year, had a Serie A team. Tomori, one of the cornerstones of that team. Nicolo Barella, another cornerstone of that starter Serie A team. Wow, I just enjoyed using this card so much. 60 assists, just shows how good he was. Wow. Red Adeyemi, just for the Danny Aaron's crew. Just showing a bit of appreciation, as he did revive the FIFA scene a fair bit. When going through plays in the club, it seems that I missed a few, and to correct that, I'll just go through them now. Jorginho, packed him during Team of the Year, used him a bit, used him more on the other account though, as I didn't want to use the same cards on both accounts. I'm sad to say that I don't have the Champions League one. I'm really annoyed about that. But this was a fun collection to keep making throughout the year, and hopefully we can do it next year as well with another player. Divock Origi came a lot off the bench, once actually won some games for me, which was the only times I ever used him because he's just Divock Origi. It's what he does. It's what we bought him for. Andy Robertson, a red Liverpool card that we got, which is all the more special, and obviously we had to play a lot of games with him. This was a very underrated card. I used this card a fair bit as a CDM, and he was very good. His passing was amazing, and he was very good at tackling. Very underrated card. And I've also forgot that Friendly's record was separate this year. I think it was other years, but I just want to show off that I was pretty decent at Friendlies. I won most of them, didn't lose many, but that's pretty irrelevant as I didn't do many objectives. And towards the end of the year, I was using it just to play classic match because Foot Champs wasn't really for me. And I'll just sum up by, let's just see if there's anything on the transfer market, and we'll just end the year. It's Jadon Sancho. The 85-10s this year seemingly came very late, but apparently they didn't. But the game was very dead by then due to the power curve that then. Team of the season cards weren't good by the end of the year. I wasn't using them. I wasn't finding them to be the best cards. And the promos at the end of the year was just shapeshifters, which got very repetitive, not very fun. I wasn't playing then. And the 85-10s, the grind wasn't very enjoyable like it was the year before. And I'd like to say that this year was not as good as the year before. It tried to change. Some of it was successful, some of it was not. And the new chemistry system might fix the game, but I think we're in for another year that won't reach the levels of even a 21, which wasn't amazing to start with. But that's the club tour over. No icon pick to end this year because I couldn't be bothered, and I stopped playing the game around August. So yeah, hopefully this has been a good video, like last year, which was my most popular video, and I might make a club tour for my other account as well.